Okay, it's on us, guys. We got today on Wake Up Your Life Savage Panda, my beautiful fucking co host, my brother from over there in the UK. We finally, holy shit, after a year of trying, got the great Will Savant up in here.
Give me a year of trying.
Wow.
You only asked me once.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to get you, but like I've had to work myself up to getting to talk to you. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I appreciate it.
like your music like inspires me to a point where that's all I can say. Seriously.
I'm blown away, man. That's really a pleasure, man. You
Now
just do it because we love
we've also got my boy Toy down there. Okay, right
it.
underneath me, like how it should be. Oh my god. But that is Jerry of Jerry the Clown Productions. Okay.
What up? That's so Pete.
He kind of looks like a little peep a little bit. But on this year's episodes of Wake Up Your Life, the whole aesthetics, the whole grasp of this year's Wake Up Your Life is going to be primarily generalized on music, how it has affected us, how it has inspired us, how it has also molded us into our life, how we are now. Okay? Now, everybody who knows about Wake Up Your Life also knows that this is a very no holds bar, no filter kind of show. Okay, that's why there's a warning label specifically for this specific show where we let you know, yeah, there's going to be swearing, there's going to be profanity, there's going to be real opinions here. Yes, there's going to be disagreements. Okay, that's why there's that disclaimer at the in the description right out the gate. Okay, now let's dive into this shit. Okay, because all four of us are all music artists. Okay, what most people don't know is I used to play for a band back in 2010 myself. So, and I used to play guitar. So, yeah, that's the shocking thing for everybody. Now, we got Savage Panda that's part of the Juggalo family. We got Jerry that's part of the Juggalo family. And then we got Will Savant. But I want to hear Will Savant's uh, idealism on how does music affect the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Well, I mean, I think when you're looking at and you use just using the word like just the English word effect, what that's supposed to mean, you know, in order for there to be some sort of a conclusion um, to effect, it really comes down to what we're taught. So in order to have an effect, you got to have a beginning. So like for many people in Western society, like for here in America in cowboy world, a lot of people have a different reason for how they appreciate or celebrate music or how it affects them. So you know what I mean? So in modern day world, and I can only speak from my experience, but I grew up on hip hop and rock and roll music here in the States. I'm about and I geographically, I was born in West Massachusetts in a rough neighborhood, and now I live up about 40 minutes north of Boston. And it's a very competitive music environment. And I use the word environment um, because I grew up in a town called Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the environment in Portsmouth is like a beach tourist. Um, it's an artist. It's really an artist refuge. It's there's no noise ordinance laws. There's street performers, fucking jugglers, magic tricks. Girls out there. I mean, the boys and girls look good. It's it's that particular community is they were really huge on encouraging expression in a broad stroke of diversity in languages and music. So when you say how does it affect people, much like a pond, you know what I mean? When you throw a pebble in, it makes a ripple, much like a sound wave, or or the oscillation of planets, or much of anything else that we understand about music or scale systems or math. We're talking about rhythms and speed and oscillation and mass and particles and wavelengths and forces and gravities and radiation and all that other. But bringing it hometown, to be clear, in United States, in rock and roll music and in rap music, there's never been an amount of people on the planet that have had the much exposure, experience, and education in terms of modern day pop, metal, rock. People at my age, I'm 42, so I was here when it started. I was here when the internet started. I was here when video games started. I was here when metal started. I was here when I was the only kid on my block with a pair of turntables. You know what I mean? I was the first one out of my friends to pick up a guitar. I was the first one out of my friends to host a cipher. I was the first one out of my friends to ever be in a battle rap. I was also the first one of my friends to go to state prison. I was the first one of my, so, I'm unique in the sense that the environment that I was in, the environment I'm in now, I've always been an adventurer, a pioneer, a discoverer. So when we talk about how music affects you, I think we have to start by where you live and how you learned about music and how you first became educated about music, because everybody's affected. How does music affect you? Well, it affects us all very differently. And that depends on who you are, what age you are, how much experience in education, how much formal experience in education versus raw talent, how many people you've worked with, what your resume, what your career arc, what your peaks and valleys and your cognitive spirit is. Because it's not so much of how it affects, it's what you're adding to it. And that comes down to what we've learned about music. And in the United States right now, music has been, for the last, 100 years, it's been about economics and popularity. So I don't make music for economics and popularity. I work for a living like everybody else. It doesn't mean that I haven't benefited from playing music, or I don't, play music and I've gotten a paycheck. I just, the other day, I was really surprised to see how well we were doing in music. It was actually a surprise to me because we don't collect a lot of royalties in music. We usually collect increments and money for living and rent and basic needs we usually get from working really hard, like anything else. And when you see us out on the road, you see us gathering assets for our bands or for our original music, that we're paying for that. We don't have any companies or people that are, giving us stuff. That anything that we have, we're working for. So for us, I know that was rather winded, but I think it's important when you look in terms of not like what you're doing and how it affects others and how it affects you so much is like, why are you even doing it? And not just as a person, as an individual. I mean, as a society, as people, as friends, as me, as you, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Are we showing off and getting random TikTok likes? Or and are we collecting follows and views and popularity? Or are we hiring managers and leaders that can bring quality and add quality and have conversations and ideas that challenge everything that we've done historically? When you look historically, why we've given up on a lot of products like 8 tracks and tapes and CDs, it wasn't that they weren't good for their time. They were awesome. And then we moved on. Guitarists couldn't imagine going on stage without having a guitar tuner. But guitar tuners weren't always they weren't always readily available. And when you look at instruments, that play a part in Western music, you think of the vocals and you think of drums. Because when I say Western music, I do mean Europe and America, and I do mean modern rock, not music that came from World War II, and not music that we can't observe. The birth of the drum kit was the result of the fact that they couldn't keep enough people sober or in orchestras or symphonies. So now you have one of the most modern important pieces in rock and roll. And people who get mad at the looper need to be mad at the drummer on the drum kit, because years ago they needed many percussionists to play a part in an orchestra or symphony. And they realize what we're seeing today is that it's hard to make friends, and it's hard to keep people in the room. And there's a balance between technology and comfort and leisure and what we feel is organic, and then what we learn later on to be folklore and stories that we tell around the campfire. And we compare sticks to branches, right? And then we throw them and burn them in the fucking fire. Because here in the United States, when you ask musicians, why do they make music? It's like asking people in prison what emotion you're able to feel, anger or humor. And anybody that's been to any an institution or facility with men in it or young boys knows there's only two emotions that are allowed: anger and humor. And in the same situation, when you ask an artist today, we're taught to say that we're taught to lobby for our independence, and we're taught in a Facebook post or in comments to speak like that, because we're expected to not be. People expect for music to be free. And throughout the line, we've been taught that making music in general, when you ask bands and you ask rappers, the safe emotional quality, the safe thing you can say around a group of Americans is you make music for money, and I think that's where it starts. That's where my answer really starts. Is when you ask me how does music affect people, it affects their economic behavior in this country. I don't make music. I don't prioritize my music for financial effect. So the reason why I make music won't be as popular as most people in this country, because when you ask most people in this country why they're making music, they're scared to admit that they want attention. They're scared to admit that they're in pain. They're scared to admit that they want to share their story. They're scared to admit that they have original ideas, because we're taught as neighbors living next to each other that it's weak to think that your neighbors have ideas and abilities to make changes. It only seems realistic to look across the pond and be like, oh, this guy or this celebrity or this person. It's only available for you. It's only okay for fortunate people to have abilities. It's only okay for rich people to tell their story. And we've been taught this year over year over year. But when you look at the birth of rock and roll, in the 40s and 50s, and you look at the transatlantic slave trade, okay? And you look at the birth of rock and roll, we're talking Big Bopper, Bo Diddley, Little Richard. We're talking the birth of rock and roll. Where's rock and roll come from? Rock and roll comes from early blues and country and the early gospel. And where's the early gospels come from? The early gospels come from the transatlantic slave trade. People having a hard time in rock and roll even admitting that. And that's U.S. history that's taught in institutions that billionaires pay for. That's taught in institutions where monuments and statues are celebrated. That's taught in our modern day. That's taught in modern day Berkeley and Harvard. That's taught in the biggest institutions. And I'm not saying all hail the institution. I'm just saying it's bought and paid for. And I'm saying that it's observable. When we're talking about what happened in Egypt, we're talking about 500 years of a dynasty, then a clip. 500 years of a dynasty, then another clip. 500 years, Cleopatra didn't build the fucking pyramids. She just fucking hung out near them. By the time we get to the Game of Thrones, we're talking fucking Alexander the fucking Great. We're talking fucking Greece. We're talking to different people. That's not the people who built the Sphinx. because we only talk about what's popular. You only hear, you can't go green. We can't all do something in the world if only a small portion of us are doing it. So you can't go green if you don't got Wi-Fi. You can't go green if you don't have a bank account. You can't. So why look across the pond and compare all the time? So and the reason why we don't believe our neighbors have the capabilities and the abilities to change the world and provide new art, new ideas, is simply because we've been taught not to believe it. Because the world is digest moment to moment, second to second, and the desire to be right and the desire to be powerful as an individual is distracting from your true ability of why we make music and why we're here in the first place. We're the only fucking creature on the fucking planet that thinks that we're not an animal. So we have some soul searching to do. I don't believe that we make music for Amazon. I think that people in the Amazon made different type of music for a different type of reason. When you look at the transatlantic slave trade and you look at the birth of rock and roll, you look back to why were those slaves in the field singing that? They had to communicate with each other. Why were the Native Americans beating on the drums? Because they had to communicate with each other. They were communicating. And we don't have to get into belief systems and spirituality. We know that they were communicating. And we know that because we were fucking here. This isn't Thermopylae. This isn't Göbekli Tepe. My mother was born in 45. This isn't like unobservable. This is ledgers on this. This is observable. I was here at the birth of hip hop. This isn't something we can't talk. I was the first kid on my street that rapped. So we're not talking about some unobservable scientific anomaly or a fucking dinosaur or an alien or something that we can't see, right in front of us. This is something that we can all talk about because we're living in it now. So we're not talking about historical events. We're talking about now. And right now, people have forgotten why we make music.
I got to chime in right there, brother. Seriously. Now, me being a historian myself, okay, and my ways of belief, my ways of thinking are more Eastern based, okay? I think more upon the ways of the samurai, the ways upon the Japanese codes, okay? That is what my religion basically was something that generalized me to the Eastern philosophies. And one great man, and he may not be called great by some people, he may be called fantastic by others, but Bob Marley, one of the greatest motherfucking visionaries of any generation, really, said, we shall destroy hatred, racism, and everything, and we shall bring down the destructive forces by injecting love and music into the world. Okay? He wanted to inject love and peace into the world through music. Now, that affected me into a deep meaning, okay? And when it comes right down to it, that's one of my favorite artists, okay? Bob Marley, Carlos Santana, those old school artists who you can feel the lyrics in your heart, in your soul, you know what I mean? Like, you could feel their music. You don't just hear their music, you feel that music. That's why I love your music so much, is because it doesn't just hit my skin and my ears, it actually hits into my heart and my soul. That's why I fangirl over certain artists, because it's not about how popular you are to me. I don't give two flying fucks. You could be Jimmy from down the block, okay? Never published a damn song in your life, but you sing, and when you affect me and you move me, then I'm gonna fucking love your music, because you've moved me. You've affected me in a way where I can actually progress in my life better through your music, you know?
And I want to say that's not to say that people that benefit economically are bad people. That's not to say that people that are driven by that are low quality. That's not to say that it's comparative. That's not to, that's not to say that anybody's reason for, whatever their drive and motivation and incentive for sharing their story or creating music or buying a laptop and letting their laptop doing it for them. Whatever your reason or intensity or broad stroke of enjoying life, that's up to you. And that's also to be celebrated. This the way we're celebrating music right now is new. Talking about killing each other and spilling our blood all over the place and destruction and singing about jewelry and money and economic gain and wealth and being powerful over each other. That's a new thing that we have. That's a new thing that we celebrate because this country's new to music. This country's new to the internet. The internet and modern day technology and how we make music is brand new to us. And I don't think we've absorbed. Just to answer the question fully, I don't think we've. How does music affect us? I don't think we know yet, because I still think that we're experimenting in this country with trying to remember what music is for, and the people that are making it are trying to remember, you know, why we're making music across the world. Are we making it for self worship and to take pictures of ourselves and to push metrics? Uh, for me, I don't have that experience. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever said to me, "Hey, William, I really like you guys' music because you're rich," because I'm not rich. And I've never heard anybody say, "Hey, William, I really love you and Melissa's contribution to music because you're popular," because we're not popular.
See,
And I think the pursuit for popularity and the pursuit for being rich are controversial, because I think that a lot of artists won't. I think it's easy for artists to admit, yeah, I want to be rich, because being in America, that's something that's acceptable. You're allowed to tell your neighbors, yeah, man, I'm hoping to make it, and in the laugh behind your back. But the thing is it's popular for an 8-year-old in America to want the same thing as an 18-year-old, because 8-year-olds watch 18-year-olds. And if you watch an 18-year-old, 18-year-olds watch 24-year-olds. And in this country, 24-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and 40-year-olds all want the same thing. If you ask them in a group, they all want to make it. They all want a TikTok account. They all want 400,000 followers. But if you start pulling, and they all want to be rich, because that's the thing. Those are the things in America that people want in today's society. If you ask people in the 40s or 50s, they tell you they want God, and they want to go to church on Sunday, and they want to, because of World War II and industry and the birth of and the end of agriculture and computers. If you ask people in the 40s and 50s, they'll tell you college and getting married and having kids and having two. And it's not that those people are bad people or comparative to us. It's that there were different circumstances at that time, just like there is from the cassette to MP3s to Spotify and you'll get civilians and you'll get artists that'll sit there and argue sticks and branches back and forth. But it's like, people, Aborigines and Native Americans, when they were in the woods making music, they weren't making it for iTunes. You know what I mean? It's just something to remember that I might say, oh, sure, I've benefited economically from music, or my band Sepsis, has collected royalties from music. But I want to make it perfectly clear that that's not a large metric that we've ever collected from. We've collected, from being entertainers as a whole, and nickel and diming and pulling like an octopus, pulling from all different parts of the world, and live performances and internet and Patreon, and everything as combined as a singularity. We're able to pay the internet and the light bill and stuff like that. But surely nobody's ever said that they love our music for being popular. Surely nobody's ever said they love me for being rich, because we don't have those kind of expenses that are observable to us. But the reasons and the motivations for why somebody gets into music, I think it's not, do you do music? And because everybody does music. Everybody's a model. Everybody's an Instagram model. Everybody's a photographer now. But let's face it, the selfie stick and the selfie in itself, the mentality and the psychology behind the selfie is, the selfie was invented for people that photographers refuse to take pictures of.
or people that couldn't afford it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just the same.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll go for that. I agree. But once again, and that really reinforces my point. And the reason why when we make music today, it's safe to say, and most people will tell you, it's one of the only safe things you can say about making music without getting laughed at is making money. You hear the brokest musicians. If you ask a broke musician, why do you want to make music? He'll tell you everything under the fucking sun. He'll tell you to make money, to get pussy, to wear chains, to kill rappers, to kill his neighbors. He'll tell you all kinds of stuff. But he won't tell you he wants attention. But that's what everybody really wants.
See,
because back in the day, you used to get money, and you used to get the cars and the clothes, and you used to get all this stuff so you could get the attention. Now it's different. Now it's different because you have computers are involved. Look, because computers are involved. Because back when people learned the violin, there was a professional climb. Okay, back when you wanted to run the racetrack, there was a mountain, a professional climb. Back when there was mountain climbers, there was a professional climb. Well, you just said it. With money and technology, the gap has been narrowed on the professional climb. If you have enough money and the technology's right, an amateur now can run the race or climb the mountain and take the professional climb. Anybody with a laptop and a cell phone is a photographer. Anybody that wakes up now and goes on Facebook or TikTok and say DJ fucking Ice Pick is instantly a DJ. See, but you can't instantly be a violinist. The professional climb is different.
Amen to that, because I do see your point. Now, the whole that literally encompasses like everything that we were going to talk about throughout the whole
Amateurs
year.
can feel like professionals with technology. Amateurs can get in there. That's why you see amateurs in the boxing ring. You see amateurs trying to model. Amateurs trying to be photographers. And that's why people get hurt. But you don't see roofers up. You don't see pretend roofers. You don't see cosplay. You don't really. That's why. I mean, honestly, you don't see gangster rappers shooting at police officers. You never hear about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's because rappers are scared of police officers.
You touched on one aspect, okay? Cosplay. Now,
cosplay. That's right.
Now, I'm gonna have to have you like understand one aspect of that, okay? I used to do what they called. I used to be a drag queen, and I used to do what they called a geisha act, okay? Now, being cosplay, I've done that as well. I was a LARPer for a couple years myself. Now, when you're doing cosplay, you can't just, I'm going to do this outfit or buy this outfit and say, I'm a cosplayer. No. Like you said, there is a fucking mountain you must climb to get to that summit of cosplay, okay? Because I am a cosplay manufacturer myself and a weapons manufacturer. So I know what it means to actually be in that artist form, okay? And to doing cosplay, people don't realize you're not talking, okay, I'm going to do maybe 6 or 7 hours, okay? Or 30 or 40 minutes, okay? Most people don't understand. That takes at least 250 hours. 250.
Can I chime in right here? Because I think we might be talking about two different things. I'm talking about the difference between looking at WWE and all them people coming down with silicone in their fucking ass. Okay, and I'm talking about people walking around like in outfits, looking like they're coming down for combat, coming down with the sprinkler systems going off and having the fireworks. I love wrestling. Don't get me wrong. So understand what I'm saying. It's the difference between looking at a guy coming down to the ring, putting on choreography like we do, like Sepsis does on stage. We have choreography. We practice it. It's come down. It's for a show. There's guys that get on gangster rappers. They come on and they give you the show on Instagram. I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking the difference between when I say cosplay, I mean playing house. I mean pretending. I don't mean cosplay, the art that people do on Twitch and all that. I'm not talking about cross-dressing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the difference between somebody pretending they're coming down the ring to get in the ring and do combat with another man and somebody putting on a show in theater and being in WWE and knowing that, yeah, there's a guy here, we're safe. You know what I mean? There's a show that we're putting on.
Basically, the acting of it.
Storyline. Right. There's taking the professional climb and learning how to sing and going and investing in yourself and going to voice lessons and practicing and building up your career acts and having, leaps and bounds and having peaks and valleys and going through the challenges that it takes to become a vocalist. And then there's downloading software. So when I say somebody coming down and being a wrestler, and then somebody that's wrestling and pretending to fight for their life is nothing like somebody that's fighting for their life. Pretending to be a singer and turning on auto-tune is not the same peaks and valleys and professional climb of a vocalist. You see what I'm saying? That's why people don't play the violin, sir. Because it's hard. And nowadays, an amateur, because of technology and phones and auto-tune and because of luxury and leisure, because of these fucking toys on the internet, it gives consumers the feeling, it gives them the rock and roll starter package, it gives them the rap package, it gives them the product to wrap themselves in this atmosphere, to wrap themselves in this artificial augmented reality and they temporarily feel like a gangster. They feel like a model. They feel like a race car driver. They feel like a mountain climber taking a professional climb. But they have not put in the work that the violinist puts in. They've not made the investment that the combat fighter fights in. They have not went through the pain that the transatlantic slaves, when they were singing spirituals, they had not gone through that type of experience. See, those people that were humming and singing and praying and communicating, the Native Americans, they weren't communicating with Sony. They weren't taking a professional climb. They didn't have computers to tell them that they were pretty. They didn't take pictures of themselves and pretend to be kings and gods and record labels and DJs. Anybody can get online and pretend they're a DJ or a podcast or a rock and roll band.
Yep, and that's the point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the point of why I'm trying to. That's the exact reason. Everything you said is literally why I gave.
It's like taking a bunch of professionals and making them hang out with boxers or track runners. It's weird. We're all hanging out in the same room. So now, Instagram girls feel like porn girls. Anybody with a cell phone, they feel like a photographer, but they didn't go through the professional climb.
Yeah. This is how I feel about that. If nobody's willing to put the time in to learn and improve yourselves,
Billy, people won't admit it. People won't admit what they want. That was the whole point of me saying that. Most artists won't admit that they even want attention. They'll tell you they want money. They'll tell you they do it for God. They'll tell you they do it for I do it for my kids, man. Hey. They do it for the gang. They do it for every reason, but they won't do it. They won't do it for the reason that they're on here for attention, bro.
Yeah, they won't admit that shit no more.
Now,
I won't admit it. I'm one of the only artists that admits I'm not here for my family. I don't come on here and share pictures of my kids. You guys have never. The only thing you guys have ever seen me put on here is fucking music. I have no use for social media because there's only two types of people on social media: fucking clients and partners, buyers and sellers. You ain't never seen my picture of my kids. You ain't never seen a picture of my dinner. I don't do it. I'm only here for one reason, for attention. And the reason why I get it is because I can admit it.
And
I know what I want.
See, that's why I love this
I don't have
man.
any skeletons. I'm not doing this in secret.
That's why I love this man, okay? That's why I wanted him
I'm not pretending.
Exactly. That's why I wanted you
I don't
on.
want what everybody wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
See, that's why I wanted you here is because
I really play the violin. It's like that.
yeah, but that's why I wanted you here is because you are one of the most realist people I've actually gotten a chance to talk to in the music industry. And I'm going to jump it over here to Jerry real quick.
Absolutely. I want to hear from everybody. Too.
Okay, Jerry. Yes, I'm putting your butt out there on Front Street. Come
Thank
on.
you guys for listening to my craziness.
Hey, it ain't
You're
crazy,
awesome, man.
dude. It ain't craziness. It is actually truth because what people don't understand. Read the name of the fucking show. Wake Up Your Life means just that exact fucking point. That's what this show's about. Okay? To slap the fucking people in their face, give them that dose of reality. To basically slap them in the face and tell them, hey, dumb shit, you're still sleeping. Wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's not to just beat around the bush and play around with little Susie Q down the fucking straight. No, this is about to wake motherfuckers up to the realistic fucking ideals of the real world, not some fucking fantasy world that you see on the goddamn internet, okay? Not somewhere where everybody else sees dumb shit, okay? I'm sorry, my father was not raised in the 40s and the 50s. My father was born in 1945. My mother was born in 54, okay? I'm 33 fucking years old, okay? I'm from the hood, okay? The same exact hood David Grohl was from. Now, what most motherfuckers don't know, okay, is I grinded those streets. I did that work. I put work in. I lived a fucking past that I talk about. I don't have those skeletons just like you, brother, okay? I don't give a fuck if somebody looks down on me, okay? You want to look down on me, go right the fuck ahead, okay? That nine's always ready. But I'm just saying, like, it comes right down to the actual facts, okay? Of if music is not affecting your life in a positive fucking manner, if it makes you feel down and depressed, then you are listening to the wrong fucking music. If it makes you not wake the fuck up and slap you in the face and make you think, okay, hold up, what the fuck, okay? Like Tom McDonald, Dax, you guys, fucking, I've heard Jerry the Clown, Rocky
I like
Rob.
bad music too. Like,
I've heard
I like
Savage
bad
Panda.
music, too.
But
Like, I think there's music for everything though. You know, like there's bad music too. You know, like Children Need London Bridge, and I think that's a good song. You know, because
see,
really, like,
there's the dark history
like,
behind London Bridge. There's a dark history
like, I
behind
don't even
all
know
this.
that. But what I'm saying is, people choose. The main thing is people get to make the choice in the end. Okay, people get to make the choice in the end why they're doing it. That's the beauty of it. That's the love of it. That's the value of having conversations like this. It's not to say that listening to London Bridge means that you have a lower depth of intelligence and it's less quality. It's not to say that, you know, we know a lot of death metal bands and people that do, you know, Satan and aliens and naked. I'm not, you know, we could get into categories and catalogs. I think the big takeaway is we're living in a time now, brother, where people can make the choice to curate and to aggregate music that's healing and music that's you know that you guys are excited about. And you know what? On the other spectrum, I think there should be music where people wanna be depressed, if people wanna be angry, or I think there should be that. I think there should be terrible music with auto tune blasting and out of key. I think there should be terrible music with bad guitar pick scrapes. I think we need to leave up all the bad habits because it reminds us of what the fuck we need to avoid. The idea of telling somebody not to make something is definitely the opposite of anything that I want to go for. In fact, no, I want people to make it comparable. I want there to be a music industry that's so terrible that we can all look at it. And it's like when we look at rape, we go, oh, most people agree in public that rape is bad. Most people agree that herpes is not fun. But it's a disease we could have got rid of a long time ago with honesty. The reason why we can't get rid of it is because of honesty. It's a simple little bug. All we have to do is be honest with each other when we have it. But we can't do it. Same thing since the Bible. If you know what I'm saying, if you our most historical books, no matter what you believe in, whatever laws or whatever places you come from, even societies that have been marrying their daughters off at 14 years old for centuries. You know what I'm saying? Most people in the modern day world, if you ask them if it's okay to rape people, they'll say no. If you say, hey, is stealing okay? They'll say no. Most people, if you ask them in a big group, is rape okay? Everybody say, put your hand down if you like to rape people. Everyone's gonna go like this. You never met a thief and been like, hey man, Mr. Thief, did you steal something? You've never met a thief that was like, absolutely, man, I steal stuff all the time. You ain't never met a pedophile in your life that's like, dude, yup, it was me. It was me. It's not gonna, bro, you gotta get, you know what I'm saying? We can make this illustration all day. But it's like, do you want to be right or do you want to rule? And given the opportunity, there's people like me that know better, and I know most people who rule. Rape's always been unpopular. When you talk about it in public. It's not unpopular when you talk about what people want to do. And when you want to find out what people want to do, you just look at what people are good at. All I have to do to find out if somebody's good at something, all I have to find out to look at what somebody wants to do is look at what they're good at. So when I look at people as a species, it's not hard for me to find out what people want because I find out what they're good at. Lying, showing off, and jerking off to kids.
Now,
you can hide behind economics and rap and hip hop and all type of shit. People are good at harming each other. People are good at stabbing each other in the back. People are good at secrets. Yeah. So you'll never fool somebody like me. That's why I make music without fear. That's why I live my life without fear, because I can't be tricked. I can't be fooled. You can't fool me that musicians make music for money, because I don't know no musicians that make money. Musicians don't make music for money. They make music to show off on the internet. Because they think that that's what the largest part of the group wants them to do. People want to be celebrities, not in private, just when you bring them in front of others. They don't want to make music because they're not likable people. In order to make music, in order to be a celebrity, you have to be smart. You have to be pretty, and people have to like you. You got a bunch of unlikable people wanting to be liked. It's like going up on a roof and being scared of heights. But we're all taught by fucking machines. We're all taught by the machines and by the magazines and by all the celebrities that this is what we should be doing. We should all be going live like Will. No, you shouldn't. Because you put your babies on the internet. I don't. There's a difference. I play violin.
Yes.
I'm not coming down. I'm not shooting myself full of silicone. I took the professional climb. I raised kids. I finished out my prison sentence. I never told on nobody. I never fucked no babies. I don't have no crimes. I don't owe nobody any money. That's why I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the music industry. I don't care about skin color. I don't care about the country. I don't care about what genre you're in. I make music for me. Because I'm good at it.
There's more people like you.
You know what I'm saying? I made
music.
music.
You guys actually see why I wanted him here.
It brought me closer to my family. That's why I make music. I don't give a fuck about Sony. And I got a record deal. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. I'm trying to tell y'all something. I don't care about the music industry. Fuck the music industry. They don't got nothing for me. They ain't never sat down with me, talked to my kids. They ain't never paid my light bill. Nobody hang out with me. Nobody said, hey, Will, I like you because you're in the music industry. I've been in the music industry my whole fucking life. And the music industry ain't nothing but a business of dick riding contacts.
Yep.
I don't got no motivation, no drive to be in no industry full of no strangers. I don't vote for strangers. I don't argue over strangers. I don't care about no rules, regulations. I'm not with the law. I'm not with no gangs. I'm not with no crews, no countries. I don't even believe the street that I'm on is named that. I don't give a fuck what the street name is. I don't care. I make music like just like the spiritual people did. I make music like the Aborigines do. And all the other things I do is called hard work, man. It's called predictable hard work. And we make money and we save and we go on tour. We pay for all that shit. We pay for our music because we love playing music. You guys saw my guitar earlier. That's just under $600. I've never owned a guitar over $600 in my life. I learned how to play guitar when I was in state prison. I did 15 years. I grew up with murderers and people that killed their parents. You know, I grew up in institutions where they used to break kids' bones and rape us and beat us with shit. That's where I'm from. I'm not from the music industry. Fuck the music industry. I've got no use for people liking me. I was on the newspaper when I was a teenager. They hated me in my hometown. You can look me up anywhere. I'm easy to find. They hated me. My whole town hated me. Everybody hated me. So I don't give a fuck. We already played that. So like when you've lost everything, when you lose everything, when you lose your life, when you lose your kids, I never met a blood relative in my life. I never know my parents. All my parents are dead. I don't have no family, nothing. The only thing I've ever had is music. I don't give a fuck. Nobody can take music from me. Not a record label, not a manager. Nobody can authenticate me. I am the authenticator of my choosing, of my family, the king of my family. I'm the king of my building. I ain't never been in a motherfucking room anywhere in the United States where I wasn't the most important person in the room. Or working as the equal participant. People ask me why I don't have a lot of shows. I tell them because if they don't pay me, I ain't coming. The only way to hire me is hire me like a professional. That's it. There's people that'll see your value, fellas, and there's people that won't. There's some that do and some that don't. And my name is Will, motherfucker, not won't. You got to stand on that. That's it.
See, that's why I wanted you here, is because...
You're muted.
Yeah, you muted, bro.
Ah!
It's muted?
No.
No, that is.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, man. That's real life. I love music because it changed my life. Because it brought me closer to my children. You know what I'm saying? Because it brought me closer to my woman.
That's the reason why I do music too, because it helped. It got me out of a dark place.
Right on, brother. I can't think of a better reason to do music but surviving. I think that's the same reason that the transatlantic slaves, I think that's why they did music too. And I think that's when the people came over to this continent and they found the native people here and they found them drums they were beating on and they heard all them war cries. They didn't have Spotify. They didn't have bank accounts. They didn't have stocks or bonds. Why? And I'm not saying we need to throw those ideas out, but why when you talk to musicians, that's what we got to talk. We always got to talk about pussy or killing each other or we make music for money. That's an American point of view. That's not the way that people make music. The world is filled with other people other than people that have Wi-Fi. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like not everybody in the world has electric cars. Not everybody in the world makes music for Spotify, bro. And I never have. So when people ask me how does music affect me, man, I could go on about this forever.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
You know, music saved my life. It saved my physical and biological life while me and my friends were getting murdered and killed and choked and suffering and getting our bones broken. That's the only reality that I had that I've ever felt safe in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So you got to understand, like, there's people like me that got dropped off in this world without a person to look in their eyes. And when it came to music, it was the only safe place, you know what I mean, that I could find a father figure.
I can relate to that right there.
You know what I'm saying? It was the only place where I could admit, you know, when I could admit that my mother could not walk me, you know, all the way through boyhood to become a man. because only a man can walk a boy through motherfucking manhood.
See, now I'm gonna chime in. Okay, I know the other guys want to talk. They got their things to talk about too, but I'm gonna make this offer to Jerry specifically. If he wants to come back, okay, as a co-host, as a permanent co-host, he can. But I'm gonna chime in on this, okay, because number one, nobody truly actually knows the real story of me, because yeah, I give people bits and pieces, but everybody says, "Oh, dude, why don't you ever talk? Why don't you ever express yourself? Why don't you like talk about your music?" Because when I was in doing music, okay, I wasn't up on that damn motherfucking stage because I liked the band. Like you said, I was there for a fucking paycheck, no more, no less. Now, when I was in my own private time, yes, I would sing to help myself out, okay? I would sing to basically help myself to get through dark times. I actually started singing, not rapping. My rap, yeah, I can do poems and shit like that. But I'm gonna be God honest with you. No bullshit. I was taught in a church choir by a lady named Denise Elkins, okay? God bless her because she's up in the heavens with the gods right now. But this lady literally taught me how to sing, okay? And showed me exactly where my place was in music. I could play guitar, I could play drums, I could play whatever instrument I wanted to learn, I could learn to play because I had the passion for it. Now, what most people don't understand is, okay, like you said, everybody wants attention. Me, personally, fuck the attention. All I want people to do, actually, okay, is stop arguing, start bickering, actually wake up and fucking realize your potentials. Realize what you're actually meant to do, not some fucking fantasy that the world's giving you, okay? I'm not one of those kind of guys. I'm like you, Will, okay? I'm real down to earth kind of motherfucker, okay? I literally come from the hood. When I say from the hood, I used to go to sleep with gunshots right outside my motherfucking house, okay? I'm talking motherfucking bullet holes in my goddamn front door when I woke the fuck up and came downstairs. I'm talking bullet holes through my motherfucking fridge when I come down to get something for fucking breakfast. I'm talking a place where motherfuckers don't even realize what the fuck it is to actually have to sleep on the goddamn fucking floor, okay, to even survive the fucking night. I'm talking, I came from the damn gutter, okay? And then I start doing my own thing. I got into gangs, I got into drugs, I got into alcohol, started hanging out with the wrong people. I didn't do none of that shit for attention, okay? I did all that so I could learn a fucking valuable life lesson, okay? Everybody asks me, why were you with the gangs you were with? Why were you rolling with who you were rolling with? Because those were the people who affected me the most. Those are the people who actually helped me through my shit. Okay, and music was one of my outlets. I could sit in my motherfucking room. Now, all of us, maybe not Jerry because he's a puppy, but us four can remember the motherfucking time of the CD motherfucking player where you could pop a fucking pair of big ass headphones on, slap that shit on your motherfucking ear, and go walk down the motherfucking road, listen to your favorite fucking CD, or drop a fucking cassette tape in, fucking slap that bitch in and play that AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, whoever the fuck you liked, okay? I don't know how old you are, Jerry, but you looked a little
I
young.
remember that shit. I remember that shit.
But I'm a true 90s kid, okay? I was born in 89. And when I was born and raised, I was taught you should never allow another motherfucker to step up on your yard, okay? Basically meaning you should not let someone else affect you in a negative way unless you are trying to be that negative way. Now, I was also taught by a very, very, very powerful man to me. His name was Stanley Elkins. I call him my uncle. I've talked to this man for years, okay? He is like, he used to be my guiding light, okay? And no bullshit, he is the epitome of a real man. This man, literally, his wife had multiple sclerosis, okay? And she literally was dying from it. And he stayed with her, stayed loyal to her throughout the whole process. They were high school sweethearts, basically, okay? And he taught me what it meant to be a real man. He showed me that, okay, to be a real man, you have to do these certain things. He said that if a real man tries to say he's a real man, just because you say you're a real man does not mean you're a real man. Your actions shall speak upon your words as lies, unless your words and your actions coincide with each other. Now, if your words are not going to show and reflect your fucking actions, don't allow your words to come forth. Because me, personally, okay, I also believe in the ways of Bruce Lee, okay? Bruce Lee literally said, spell, why they call spelling is because you are casting a spell out of your mouth. Anytime you sing, you are casting a spell out of your mouth. Anytime you talk, you are casting a spell out of your mouth. And you are affecting the sounds around you. That is what music is sounds. And if you date it all the way fucking back to ancient Egypt, even before that, we're going to take it all the fucking way back to the Tower of Babel, which does not ever fucking get talked about. I hear more shit about ancient Egypt than the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel is older than fucking ancient Egypt even. Okay? Now, Kurt knows exactly what I'm talking about because he knows I came from the academy, and most pagans who know me know about the academy know when you're taught at the academy, you have a whole nother fucking light on everything in the world. Now, music affects everybody a different way. And I want to know how it affects you, Jerry, because you is the puppy in the group. Seriously, dude, I'm sorry. Unless you like over 30, you still the puppy. Because I'm the youngest one here. I know Rocky's older than me, and I know Savage is older than me. We all know Will's older than me. So let's hear it from the younger crowd, okay? How does music affect you, and how does it influence your life?
Fuck, it's a fucking huge part of my life, man. Fucking, I swear I'm listening to music fucking all the time unless I'm on the phone with fucking Panda for hours, because we get carried away a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just fucking any music that reflects the mood that I'm in. That's what I always go with. Always keeps the motivation there. If I'm feeling a bit down or shit, I'll put on something sad to get them emotions out. I'll feel a bit better. If I'm feeling fucking angry, I'll put on some crazy shit, maybe some fucking mad death metal or something. Get that shit out. I'll feel a bit fucking better. I'll look like a fucking idiot sitting in a room headbanging on my own with a fucking bottle of whiskey. But it's fucking enjoyable, man. It gets the shit out, you know what I'm saying? Everyone fucking needs music in their life, man. Everyone fucking needs it. And I think that's one of the fucking biggest outlets, especially for people who don't have a good fucking set of family or friends around them. And if you've got no one to talk to, the only other thing, in my opinion, that's there is music. But it's a great way to get emotions out, regardless if you're listening to it, you make music digitally, you play an instrument, fucking regardless. It's a way to get those feelings out.
Yep.
Or even forgot singing and rapping. Or if you're someone who does metal and you scream, fucking love you guys. But anything to do with music, man, it's all emotion at the end of the day, isn't it? All different music reflects emotions. And it's a big outlet. I think everyone needs that shit in their life. Because you're going to get fucking lost without it, man. Everyone needs it.
Now, let's see what Rocky Rob, my Mexican poppy, has to say about music. Because my dad's from Texas, okay?
Right.
And if this motherfucker does not speak upon the true music, I'm going to have to go to Michigan just to bitch slap him. Because seriously, like, I know this man was raised because I heard him and his grandfather speak, and in the traditional tongue of his people. Now, what I was raised when it comes down to it, okay, my father's from Texas, so you already know what I listen to. I listen to like Carlos Santana, the Hispanic side. I listen to Bob Marley. I listen to Jimi Hendrix. I listen to Frank Sinatra. I listen to Dean Martin. I listen to who else? Full Rat Pack. If any of you guys know the Rat Pack, okay, those are the artists I actually know.
I'm old. I know.
Okay, good. But those are the artists I listen to, okay? And throughout the years, I've always gone back to two genres and two primary artists. No matter what, if I'm feeling down and dark, Carlos Santana, no matter what, his music comes through for me. But I want to hear what Rocky Rob's thoughts are and how music affects him and how it's actually benefited or hindered his life in that, you know?
I think it benefited, but it makes me feel like, you know, it's like what Jared said. If I'm feeling some type of way, usually I don't listen to music. I just start writing it, you know, because there's a story behind how I'm feeling, and so I have to write it down. The words just come to me, and I'm just writing it, and that's what I usually do when I feel any type of emotion, you know. And it's benefited, you know. I don't know. I don't think about it. It just comes and I feel the emotion and then the story just comes to me, you know. So it makes me feel great because then I feel better after, you know. It's another way of expressing my emotions. And so I say it has benefited a lot, you know. And then it benefits other people who listen to it because they might be feeling the same way and they're like pop in a song, one of our songs here, you know. Each artist, it might be popping and say, "Oh man, I'm gonna listen to this song." Might be Savage Panda, Jerry over here, William. You know, it's amazing, man. Like there's so much this thing we're talking about could go on for a long time, long time conversation here.
See,
But yeah,
that's why I wanted music to be the primary focus for this year. Now, Savage Panda.
Wait a second. He been ignoring me all morning. Fuck him. My turn.
No.
No, I'm gonna fuck with him. No,
But-
on a serious though, if you guys are talking about music, if you guys think about this, what is your body made of? Not like 97% of water. Okay, it's vibrations that takes care of you. Why do you think when you listen to a certain song, you connect to certain memories and feelings? The reason why is the vibration and the emotion put into a song from an artist can be automatically adapted to because it's messing with your aura, because it's affecting your water. It's creating waves. It gives you certain points. That's why it's easy to stick a memory to a song or a feeling to a piece of music than it is just a random memory. So, you got to keep that in mind as well on the scientific part. And another thing, if talking about music connoisseur, for me, when I go to listen to all these artists that are submitting their music, the very first thing I listen for is emotion. If it has no emotion, then you can tell that they're just doing music just to do it to try to get rich quick. But if you hear
That's
an
what
artist
Will
with an emotion
said.
in it, the fan following they'll have, it will be greater, slower, but greater than the actual person who has all this paid promotion bullshit.
And we need that other shit though too though. I want that like I think that like we get into what we like and then we go, well, down with the branches, and then the guys with the sticks go, or the guys with the branches go down with the sticks, and they go, I don't like the sticks, and they go, I don't like the branches, and they go. But the thing is like we need sticks and branches, bro. Like relax. Like there needs to be like things, man. There needs to be ins and outs and ups and downs, and that like when we get into it, a lot of times it's like we always have to have one thing that eats another thing. Like Like when CDs came out, it was like down with cassettes. Like chill out with this, the consumerism and the tribal consumerism is not necessary so much. And that's what I meant about like Western society and American society prioritizing like it's not to like get rid of making money and stop paying your rent with your Spotify or something like that. Like that's not it. A lot of people hear 30 seconds of me on a line or a clip or something online, and they're like, "You're the guy that hates making money with music." It's like, nah, man. What I'm saying is, it's just like in terms of like, it's making money in music is just one slice of this entire singularity. It's just one thing, like being popular for music. That's cool, man. But there's like that's one slice. You know what I mean? And like we do need, and it's like old school versus new school versus. But if you think about it, like nothing has ever canceled itself out. Like candles are still cool. Like yeah, we got light bulbs and shit like that and LEDs, but like people still like candles, man. And like when vinyl was like, oh no, vinyl's gonna be gone forever. It's like vinyl's not gone. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember when CDs and tapes were a thing, and it was like people who love cassettes were like, oh, cassettes are gone forever, and now and CDs and digital and analog and this and that, and like, but like we were talking about earlier, loopers didn't get rid of the drum kit. And the drum kit didn't get rid of the orchestra. You know what I mean? Like AI isn't gonna get rid of people that paint. Do you guys remember? Remember that filter that came out like 4 years ago, before all the augmented shit and all the cool stuff you could do now? But it was just a simple sketch. Instagram, you could put your face on it, would turn your body into like a pencil drawing. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
There was several different versions of it. Whatever. You know what I mean? But like. Basically, you could take a picture of yourself on your story and then hit a button, and it turns you into a pencil sketch. And at the time, people who made sketches all were like, "Oh my God, pencils will be gone forever now. Now that yourself, because it looked pretty good." And there was so much fear that now pencils were going to be taken off the shelf. And it was like, yo, like baby wipes ain't never got rid of toilet paper. I'm just saying, like, I'm just keeping it real, like, just the simplest things. But it's like in modern day society, we're always like stressed out about these products and who we're lobbying for, and the Red Sox and the Yankees, and it's like, but none of these things will be back next season. Ozzy Osbourne versus Dio, and it's just like that's just crazy American consumerism. Napster and Metallica and. Isn't that ironic that they're the most streamed band on the fucking planet? But it's this urgency to be, back in the day, it used to be labels and to be on billboards, and it meant something different to be in music, to get on MTV and what that was, and trying for us today to think about what that was is not observable. You weren't backstage looking at that. You know what I mean? So it's like, in the day where we can all observe each other making content, when we all know the plugins, when we all know we all have the same information we can share about microphones and technology. Like, there's no big secrets to this stuff. There's no big shortcuts. People that are great at this, somebody said it earlier, people that are great at this thing are showing their work, man.
Now,
people who do well at this are showing their work, and that's, but. The professional climb, right, y'all?
Okay, we gotta hear from my brother over here.
Okay, so talking about, also, everyone's trying to be a DJ. Please think about evolving. If this is going to be serious and you're trying to present yourself as one, and you're trying to, have a company, don't just stay at one level. In order for you to be successful, you always have to be learning. So, for instance, let's say an artist reaches out to you and gives you a bad compliment. You think, don't take it as bad. Take it as, okay, this is something I need to improve on so I can bring that artist's attention in a better way. What I am seeing, though, is a lot of artists are using this chunked up 1991 bullshit where it looks like a bad news station and they just splice a whole bunch of shit together. And you're great at it, but it's shit. Because then it's not effective for you as a person or an artist. You're not true in your true self. Not only that, you're being disrespectful to the artist that you're representing. And if you're building content about tearing down other people, that we have enough of that. I could just turn on the local news.
Well, that's what I meant earlier. We gotta have bad music. We gotta have terrible music, because then when we make good music, we need intelligent people that are able to compare that. You guys gotta remember that like Einstein and Copernicus and Leonardo da Vinci and Mr. Goodbars, like all these people, they represent a very small amount of output. Every guy that you've ever looked at, every woman that you've ever looked at and said, hey, that person's talented. That person's unique. That person represents a unique value that you've defined and you've exercised and expressed yourself about beyond somebody else's. You know that when somebody picks up a violin, that they're capable of doing something that not the everyday person can do.
Yeah.
That needs to be understood, and that's why we recognize those people. That's why we set value on violin players, because that's why we set value on Olympians, because they can jump over shit and you can't. But we need people that can't jump over shit, so we can define and we can recognize people that can. I don't know what everybody does in the chat, because I'm going to go right after this, because I got love for y'all, and I'm going to go look what everybody does. But I like when people look what I do, because when people look at what I can do, I do shit that other people can't do.
Watching Sepsis from the very beginning when I first started watching, compared to now, you could just see how much you guys weren't fucking around no more. I mean, like, you guys were all on point. There, you had more, bigger, better content coming out. The songs were always like, it's just like the hype picked up. You know what I mean? You guys were like more on it.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for all of those people, because they're all in their own right individually. But what I offer them as a band member, when they hired me as a band member, they hired me on the strength of my capabilities and my ability to make predictions about us. Okay? So I was hired in Sepsis. What they hired me for wasn't guitar. I was hired in Sepsis to make predictions. Because in Sepsis as a company, we only base our value, we only base our success in what we're able to predict. So it needs to be understood that in order to make those predictions, that takes a lot more than me. But what I'm saying is, in terms of Sepsis, when I was hired to play a role in Sepsis, it wasn't just guitar. It was because of my abilities to do things that other normal people and other human beings can't do and won't do.
That's the nice thing about us being affiliated with you, because
I'll do stuff for music that the average human being won't do. I'll die for it. I'll live for it. I die for it. I am it. So that's what I'll go to jail for it. I'll die over it. I'm so serious about music. That's why my friends hired me to be the leader, because I'm a crazy motherfucker and I'll do anything for it.
Okay.
So talking about that, that's how you got a lot of us. Now we're all.
That's why they hired me, though, just to make it clear.
So they hired you for a good point, but not only that is we're affiliated with you, and there's times, guys, where I think I have a good idea that I actually run into past Will and Mr. Goodbars just to hear what the truth about it, what needs to be fixed in the professional aspects, and Will put me in my place rather than not. And that, in order for you to have a successful company, especially messing around with music, you need to hear from the artists that are already dealing with all this bullshit.
No. I want to get on this topic, okay?
Mr. Goodbars.
Since Mr. Goodbars is actually in the house, finally, hallelujah! This is the man, the legend, the myth that actually helped me
You say
start.
God, I'll slap you on the chair. That's a motherfucking titan.
But he is the man who actually started Wake Up Your Life with me. He was my very first interview. Okay. Can't hear you.
Hey, man. I didn't even know that. I'm just glad to be here, bro. I appreciate you, man. Salute to everybody that's in here right now. I see bro holding it down too, doing the damn thing. I appreciate you, bro.
Now, the whole reason why I wanted to have you here is New year. I wanted you to be on the very first episode of the new year as well with Will Savant because I didn't really have the courage to ask Will Savant at the time.
Why? He's a person.
Yeah, but
He's a fucking most legitimate, loving person you can meet.
but
He's just blunt.
Okay, but to me, it was like, oh my god, this is another one of my heroes, one of my idols. Okay, this is one of my idols, my heroes. I'm sorry. And Mr. Goodbars, yeah, I was scared, and then this man over here actually said, shut the fuck up and just talk to the fucking people.
See, that's another thing that pisses me off about wannabe DJs. Remember, these are people that you're talking to.
Yeah,
Rather if they're superstars or not in mainstream. These are people that are creating music. Most likely, 90% of the time, it's music about their lives or something they went through. So they're not only sharing their talent with you, but they're sharing a piece of themselves with every song. With every time they record themselves, they have to record their emotion in their voice. So there's so many layers to an actual song that's coming from an artist, whether it be what genre, that they're actually giving pieces of themselves to all their fans. So for you to get giddy, it's okay at beginning, but remember, this is just a human being, just like you. They're not gods.
Well, I still now. This is the aspect of why it kind of also scared me. Okay, Will's got my mentality. He's got my mindset. If I could say that about you, Will. Okay. Because seriously, dude, you really do. Okay, you really do have my mindset. Like, how I think and everything. Now, Mr. Goodbars is in here, and I want to know his thoughts. I want to hear his opinion on the fact of how music affects people, how it affects a person in the whole aspect and the whole embodiment of it, you know? So I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Goodbars right now.
My eargasms.
Well, music does a lot of things, man. For a lot of people, it's therapy. A lot of people, it's spiritual. I can only account for what it does for me. It's everything I put on the line. It's my life. It's my resource. It's everything to me. And it's gotten me the friends in my life. It got me to meet you guys. It got me my wonderful brother right here on my right side right here. And I've gotten the friends and the people that I want in my life because of music. Music has done so much for me. It's more than just putting bars down. It's like I'm making music with my friends right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just trying to be an artist. I help in more ways than one. And salute to everybody that's working out here. I really do appreciate everybody that's putting their art out there. I just want to be a canvas for everybody. That's it. Paint what you want. Paint what you want. And I'm here to help you paint that shit. And sometimes I'm need your help to paint something too.
So the question I have for you, Mr. Goodbars, talking about how music moves you. When you're going into a battle, how do you paint it? How do you want the other artist to paint you like a canvas when you're tearing them apart? That's just not right. That's hypocritical. When it
Well, that's part of the culture. That's part of the culture of hip hop. You know what I mean? That's been around for years, and I'm just paying homage to that. And I appreciate the love from any league that's willing to reach out to me because I'm a weird character to step to the table to battle, and I appreciate them. And my main goal today is to perform. I'm not trying to shit on the other artists. I'm there to perform and give the show to the people who are there, present, to my friends and family. And then it's an aggression thing for me because I love representing hip hop in an aggressive way because I'm an aggressive person. I like aggressive music.
You were slaughtering motherfuckers. They don't even stand a lyrical chance.
I'm sorry, but I actually know a couple battle rappers myself.
They're not as good as Mr. Goodbars.
And I've actually been to their rap battles, and one of my homeboys is a very good battle rapper.
Wait a second. This is what I want to say. I want to see Professor Valine battle rap against Mr. Goodbars.
That might be a good one, but my homeboy, I got to do a shout out to him because he
He didn't pay me no money, and he's gonna get free promotion.
He's one of my homies, but he is a battle rapper, okay? Straight up, okay? And he's from Indiana, and this dude, he stutters a lot. And through battle rapping, he learned how to actually talk proper and actually be able to speak fluently, okay? And what most people don't realize is music can even help you in those ways too, okay? That's why people don't realize the word effect. Why I use the word effect, because it can affect in multiple ways. It can affect in the way of helping you speak better, or it can help you in better mentality. It can help you in pursuing a goal in your life. It can help you figure out yourself.
Can I say something to that? Because just so we can remember a part that I said earlier, maybe to help y'all think about this a little bit later. When I said the making music and the reasons for it, I never said whether it was good or bad. In fact, I pointed out that most people's priority of making music in the United States, they lie about it. I told you people don't make music for money. People make music to show off and to bully people online. People make music to look important and to look more important than other people. People use music to scare people. People use music to influence and manipulate people. People use music to abuse people. That's what I'm from. That's what you know what I'm saying. I didn't make when I was hip hop ruined my life as a kid. It ruined my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It ruined my entire life. Dead family members and everything. It ruined my entire life. And I went to jail. I went to state prison, and I grew up in boys' homes, and I was incarcerated as a preteen. And all my friends were beaten and raped in prison. No. Music's not just positive. Music's not just all those things. Music's not just to help people. No, music is powerful. Music. So when I talked about the United States and what we teach about music here in the United States, we teach people about being rich and being popular. So there's all this happy horse shit. Music saved this and music did that. Yeah, music can do that. Sure. It also can start fucking race wars. It also can encourage people to jerk off to babies. It could do all kinds of shit. It invalidates young black people to shoot each other in Chicago. It does all kinds of fucked up shit. Music's not just great. Music, I got all type of friends that have music about the devil and beating people up and all type of shit. There ain't nothing good about that.
You're absolutely right.
So I know exactly where you're coming from.
I know as musicians, there's two sides of the coin here. There's two sides of the blade. So when you guys ask me, how does music affect me? I know it's something to come online. We talk about local and how helpful it can be and how healing it can be. It can also ruin your life. And I'm telling you, because it ruined my life. It ruined my entire life making music. I was the most popular kid in town, and they put me in the fucking neighborhood, and they told the police to fucking shoot me, and they told me all kinds of fucking shit. I'm telling you, and I'm not from the hood, and I'm not from no gang. I never been in nothing like that. I'm not a violent person, nothing like that. Music can ruin your fucking life. Acting like you're popular, acting like you're violent, acting like somebody you're not, role playing, cosplaying, being a certain way, having a certain type of behavior in today's world will get you fucking killed. Music can get you killed. The social media can get you beat up. That's the kind of shit that can happen to you. There's a whole side here we're not talking about. So no, this happy stuff about music does all this and music, nah, man. That's like saying church and what God does. God's been killing motherfuckers for a long time. Our most historic books with every type of God in it.
Yeah.
So let's not talk about what things do. Church is good, and church has negative effects to it. I was raped in a church. So I'm telling y'all right now, just saying that something's good, that the music's good and all that, sound crazy. It sounds like American horse shit. People make music to have power over each other in my neighborhood. People make music, people have rap music to talk slick and to talk tough and to show off with jewelry. People make metal so they can fucking pound on each other and scare people. There's all type of other reasons people make music. Now, that's why I talked about, and when you guys asked me, I said there's a choice. And I wanted to define what music was here in America, because rock and rap music started in the transatlantic slave period and the birth of blues and jazz and gospel and country music. And I make hip hop and I make heavy metal. And I've been alive as long as heavy metal and hip hop were created. So I figure it'd be a good subject. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an observable subject. I'm not really talking about what happened in the 40s and what happened in the 20s. I'm just reminding you, and I'm reminding all of us young people here, that rock and roll started in the United States. And rock and roll from the beginning, when you talk about music and MTV and Elvis and everything else, and Little Richard, has been about economics and showing off. So when we talk about music in America, we have to talk about acting like a fucking cowboy. Because that's why my friends make music, so they can act tough, so they can scare people, strong arm people, bully people, so they could uninclude people and be part of their own little separate societies, so they can tell secrets.
Be exclusive and shit.
Right. That's what it's about. Being better than others, and being over and more powerful, and and managing other people, controlling and influencing what people think. That's why people want to do music, because there's nothing more popular in the United States than being popular. People make music in the United States to be popular. But I've never made music in the United States to be popular, because I've always been popular. But popularity for me meant pain. Ask Mr. Goodbars. When I came back to do music, I was terrified, and he knew why. Because I grew up in prison getting beaten up by police.
Yep, facts. Big facts.
I grew up in prison getting beaten up by police. That's why I didn't want to make music anymore. Come online and have these conversations. I don't even like music. Fuck music. Fuck the music industry. Fuck rap. Fuck metal. Fuck all that. Because in the United States, the only reason why people want to do it isn't to make money. It's not to be with girls. It's to impress boys. It's to impress men. It's to impress other men and posture in front of boys. And I don't like boys. I don't fuck with boys. I don't fuck with boys. I don't show off and fuck with boys. Because in prison, you get fucked up for shit like that. So I never had the drive to show off in front of other men. No. So I don't make music for money, and I don't make music for popularity and showing off for boys in America. No. I don't make music for kids either. All these adults associated with what the kids like and what the kids do. I don't make music for little kids.
Trying to be Blue's Clues and shit.
I don't make music for money. I don't make music for Sony. I don't make music for other people. I know what I can. I don't do that.
This shit is positive.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Is like me and Rocky Rob have talked about it. Savage Pad have talked about it. Music has lost its fucking way. Plain and simple. Okay. Music has lost its way because the simple fact is we forgot where our roots come from in music.
What is music made with?
Sound.
What else is being used most of the time?
Words.
Which is technically spelling.
I already covered that. You're late to the show. But, okay, this is where everybody keeps fucking up, okay? Everybody wants to make music to get attention or money or whatever the fuck it is.
And they'll come in any type, and they'll put any mask on to do it. They'll tell you
exactly.
That God told them. They'll tell you they're doing it for the black community. They're doing it for metal. They're doing it for the locals. They'll do it whatever reason. They're going to come. They're going to tell you, but they ain't going to tell you the real reason. You want to know how I know that? Because I asked my most trusted friends and family and entertainers why they make music. Listen to me. I asked my family members why they're entertainers.
And then not only that, then they head all fucked up.
My family members will tell me anything I ask them. Do you know, understand how hard it was for people that I've grown up with to look me in the face and tell me that? It was so hard. It's so hard for musicians. Musicians have been taught and have such low self-esteem. It's so hard for musicians to even admit that they want people to like them.
See, that's why I say, okay, music's lost its fucking way. Music originally...
People won't even admit that they want fans. In fact, if you're independent and you want fans, you're a fucking troll. The only people that are allowed to have fans are A-listers and people that you're not allowed to hang out with. The only people you're allowed to vote for are people that you'll never meet. The only people you're allowed to lobby for and argue about in the comment sections are people who don't give a fuck about you. Fuck the genre. Fuck what's the subgenre. Who gives a shit anymore? Who cares? Based on what chart? Nobody gives a fuck about the billboards. You guys don't even know anybody on the charts. And let's face it, everybody talks about local and support this, but most people don't listen to more than 40 artists on a Spotify a month. They don't have it. Most people can't name 4 local rappers, five bands that they went and seen in the last year. If you can't name 5 bands that you've seen in the last year in your state, I don't want to hear it.
5.
And that goes for bands too. See, where we come from, Sepsis doesn't count on other bands to make up our draw for us at the end of the stage.
No, we have to.
That's not a fucking requirement. That's a requirement that local bands made up because there's nobody in the audience left because they lost trust in the fans, man. Y'all made it about yourselves. You pulled out that selfie stick and told yourselves, oh, man, we don't know whether to drink the water or fucking shit in it.
Hey, yo, fellas, I got to finish up this session real quick. I'm going to holler at you. If y'all still in, I'm going to hop back in, all right?
Now...
Yeah, I got a few minutes, too.
Well... I'm gonna be honest, okay? Why I say, why I say music's lost its way is because it has. Now, if you actually go back to the origins of music, okay, and you actually pay attention to the origins of music, music originally was to tell a story or to spread information around the world. That is where music came and got its birth from, was storytelling and being able to actually tell a message throughout the world.
Let's not forget animals make music. Music's not just for people.
Exactly. Now, that's my point, okay? Why everybody, they think...
Lots of different species make music.
Yeah.
People think that music's just for them. That's what's wrong with people.
Mm-hmm.
People think that they're not animals. The animals love music. It's people that don't love animals.
Yo, my dude. My dude.
Now,
I got to split, y'all. I got to get going, y'all.
I got to slide out. To y'all.
The time got. Yo, I love y'all so much for having me on, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Billy. I love y'all so much. I got to split though, cause I got.
See you guys later.
Y'all hit me up.
We will.
Message me, call me.
Now,
They have life.
I do gotta make a little shout out real quick. Okay, that was intense. Like I told you guys,
Straight truth.
I know. Like that's why I wanted Will Savant on this one episode. Because I didn't want the year to start off like soft and easy. I wanted it to be straight facts, hard-hitting proof. Now, I do got a message for everybody out there. If you guys go over to eargasm.com, okay, you got to go over there, get your earplugs just in case you go to a concert or go to, like, even if you're working in a factory, because I used to be a factory worker myself, okay? And being a factory worker, you deal with loud noises, okay? Just like being in a concert. But if you go over to eargasm.com, okay, use the promo code SEPSISBAND, and literally, you can quite literally actually get a good pair of headphones for a real good discount price. Now, we're going to kind of continue this on, though. Okay, I need to know, okay, what are your guys' thoughts on what Will said, though? Okay, as my 3 co-hosts.
I thought it was he said a lot of facts and a lot of truth there, and
A lot of good facts and good truth.
yes,
He
yeah,
is a
it's
ball of
amazing.
energy, though, man. But yeah, he was spitting straight truth. But fucking hell, he's intense.
Yeah, and I think every artist does music to their own accord. Like I like writing stories because I make music for myself and to tell a story about killing pedophiles, hunting down bad people. Because that's the shit that goes through every person's mind when something bad happens to a child or a woman gets raped. You know, they want to kill them, but they don't. So I'm gonna write it for them. I'm gonna sing it for them. You know, I don't know whatever a person does off my music, like that can cause someone else to actually do it. You know, because I talked about it. You know,
I
and you're right.
mean,
Our words.
if someone does go out and kill a pedophile, would it really be that bad?
No,
See, actually, I do
Just
gotta
saying.
admit, okay, here in America, and Rocky, since he is part of the American side of it, okay, believe it or not, okay, being one who's actually had friends who actually have been in prison as well, I never myself been locked up because I've always played one card safe. But it's better to be safe than sorry. If I got a bad feeling about something, okay, I never ran with anybody really. Okay, if I had to go do some work, I did it by myself. Fuck everybody else around me. I did that shit solo. I did not do anything with anybody else. I left nobody witnessed, so I could just get out clean so nobody would know. But now the big issue is though, okay, most people lose their way when it comes to music, okay? You start getting in the limelight, you get in the spotlight, and then you lose your fucking meaning. You lose your purpose, okay? And I could make 17 different groups that actually fucking did that same exact thing. But one group I'm going to mention, okay, and this is not very well known, but did you guys all know that Five Finger Death Punch was actually not brought together, but only by a label? They were actually paid to actually sing together. They were actually brought together by their label and not, they weren't family friends or childhood friends and that. That's what he was basically talking about, okay? Like, if people don't realize that, okay, they need to realize that the factors of mainstream media, independence, all of it is actually basically almost the same exact principle. Everybody wants that attention.
I know for a fact the UK realised it years ago with, well, obviously you guys would know the name Simon Cowell.
Yeah,
We tried to get, and we actually managed to get it as Christmas #1, Killing in the Name of, by Rage Against the Machine. And that was to boycott the fact that we knew people like Simon Cowell were the people who were in charge of making these stars big and making the money. But then we realised as people, we're the ones in charge. And we managed to flip that all around on them. And we got that as Christmas #1.
See, I'm going to touch on one aspect that isn't about music, but it is about the same exact concept, okay? Now, when I was raised and growing up, okay, I was taught a king can be a king, but without his kingdom, he cannot rule. Now, a kingdom is the people, okay? And for years, centuries even, too many people been sleeping, okay? This is why Wake Up Your Life was created, to basically express emotion, to express all the views of everybody, you know? Not just to see me talk or my co-host talk. It was basically to bring other people in, see other perspectives on life, okay? Now, the funny thing is, most people don't understand, though, is that for centuries, shit has been going on that has been in the shadows, like Will said. Okay? Now, funny thing about that is, also those same artists that everybody loves, okay, like Ozzy Osbourne, perfect example, okay, signed himself to a record label, went down a very dark fucking path. Freddie Mercury, another one, perfect fucking beautiful angelic voice, okay, signed to a record label, went down dark path. Go look at Elton John, signed to a record label, went down to a dark path. You see my point? Everybody fucking loses their way. Okay?
Elvis, Johnny Cash.
Exactly. Everybody loses their fucking way. They forget the origins of why they started. Okay, they forget their roots. Now, one guy I can fucking guarantee this as truth, and he is one of my favorite artists. Okay? His name's David Grohl. He's from my fucking hometown. The dude doesn't live in some fucking $18 million fucking mansion in California. This motherfucker lives in Warren still. When he's not on tour, he's in Warren. Okay? Nobody even fucking knows that. And he even says, when I go back to my sanctuary, which is his hometown, okay, you could literally go downtown Warren, okay, and actually fucking look at this guy and see him actually sitting on a park bench with a ball cap on and a plain t-shirt and blue jeans, and he looks totally different. Okay, this is what people don't realize. That's why he even said it in interviews. He goes back home so he can remember his roots. And he remembers his origins. Okay, that's why the underground artists and the independent artists need more spotlight, because they are still there in their roots. Okay, I'm not talking about making it famous and fortune. I'm talking they need more spotlight because of the fact of they need to be able to be heard. Okay, they're still there. They're still in the grind. They're still in the dirt, in the muck, and it's like a battlefield when you're doing music. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, it is literally like going to fucking war. Okay, when you're making music, you got to think of the lyrics. You got to think of the fucking beat. You got to think about what you're gonna say. You're gonna have to think about mastering and all that other shit. But we're gonna wrap this up with Jerry and Savage Panda. Okay, I want the thoughts from Jerry and Savage Panda. But Savage Panda, you go first. Okay, and then we're gonna jump over to Jerry. But how does music affect you in a way of its idealism in that? And how do you feel about music too, Savage?
I was letting Jerry go first.
No, you go first,
Wait,
then Jerry goes first. You go first, then we'll let Jerry talk.
I was waiting for Jerry to answer first. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll let Jerry go first, then you can talk. But we only got like 8 minutes left.
Remind me of the question super fast. My brains went blank, man. Leave me alone.
Well, it's how does music affect you and how does it portray to you, as in how can it help or hinder, or how can it be beneficial or a hindrance as well?
Okay. I say from a listener's point of view, I wouldn't say there's any negatives to music at all.
From a listener's point of view,
Like, it's always just a positive thing, you know what I mean?
I say from a listener's point of view.
But,
We got a really bad echo.
yeah, I heard that shit. But I'd say if you're on the side of producing it, or anything behind the scenes, it's a lot more technical. So there are parts where it can hinder you. Like with me, with some of the shit I'm learning, there's bits where I'm struggling, so I'm having to reach out to other people to help me with that. So there's bits behind the scenes where, you know, hinders you a little bit, you can't quite get it, but at the end of the day, with learning, you will. But music is super fucking important in life. Everyone fucking needs it, regardless if you're an artist, a producer, an engineer, fucking someone who's playing an instrument in a band, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. Everyone needs it. That's a fucking healing voice for everyone on this fucking world.
Yeah.
If anyone dares fucking say that music isn't important in this world, go fuck yourself, because you're wrong. Go fuck yourself. Everyone fucking needs it. There's music out there for everyone. There's no fucking person alive who doesn't like any kind of music. Because music is meant to fucking be here. Everyone needs it.
Now,
that shit ain't gonna change.
Now, let's hear from Savage Panda, the sexy panda as I call him. Okay, since we heard from my boy Toy, but let's hear from the sexy Savage Panda.
Well, everyone has pretty much said the same thing. Like, music is medicine. It's everything. It helps keep a person going. Me personally, I listen to all sorts of music depending on my mood. Whether I'm happy or sad, I can still listen to one style of music, but I will turn to another one through to emotion. But when I personally make my own music, that's what's going on up here. And I can get that out in hope that I can stop someone doing something stupid, or in hope that to give other people clarity that if I can stand here and still be around, then there's a chance for that person. If music saved me, then my music can hopefully save someone else. That's the way I view my music.
Hey, let me say something real quick. So that goes back to what Will was saying about there's a positive effect and there's a negative effect. It might save someone's life or it might end someone's life. We don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, because like
Wait. Think about it. Think about Bloody Ruckus. Why can't he perform live? Because he created such good music that his fan following, they were afraid was going to follow in his footsteps with the whole, his 5 seconds of fame. I mean, now he can't go onto a stage because he was a music artist and they were afraid that people were going to follow in his footsteps and not letting let the music just be creative banter. They turned it into basically a warning label for other people that are going to just copy what he's saying.
Now, we only got a few minutes left, but I'm going to put this point out, and it's the point of the next show. Okay? So pay attention. Okay? Especially my co-hosts. Okay? Both of you guys. If Jerry wants to be co-host as well, he can be co-host as well. But
he's supposed to be joining the Shadow Squad.
If he wants to join Wake Up Your Life as a permanent co-host, he can. But
Shadow Squad.
Remember this one aspect, okay? Because we only got 3 minutes left. I'm gonna end the show here soon, but need you, Jerry, and Savage to stay on the call after the show. But still, why should we all forget where we come from? Why do we always forget where we come from when we get into the spotlight? When we get on screen or we get famous or we get big, we always fucking do the same damn fucking thing, regardless of who the fuck it is, okay? I don't care if you're from the littlest guy to the largest guy, okay? Every single person does this. They always forget where their origins fucking come from. I have seen it with way too many people. And I'm not just talking only in music. I'm talking in general altogether, okay? I come from the hood, and I come from getting shot at, even happening to walk down the fucking street, okay? I've been shot multiple times my damn self for my own stupidity, okay? Because I lived in that lifestyle, okay? that you were going to get shot regardless of the lifestyle I lived. I knew I was walking into danger, okay? I didn't do it for attention, okay? I was at a point in my life when I was in that lifestyle, I didn't want to be here no more, okay? And believe it or not, why I'm so positive about fucking music is it fucking basically saved my life as well, okay? As my friends and family around me helped me get through the shit, and I'm clean now for almost 2 fucking years now. I used to be a heavy drug addict, okay? And with my friends and family, and because of music, it also fucking helped me. But we only got 1 minute left, but I'm going to leave you guys with this thought, okay? We got Twisted Gardens coming up tonight as well at 8 o'clock. Perfect, Nate just said it. If you forget what direction that you come from, how can you know what direction you are going? Exactly. It is just like a fucking road. Okay?
You're beating out the bush.
Don't forget where you come from. But yeah, we got Twisted Gardens with this beautiful, gorgeous man over here. Ew, he's gonna light me on fire.
But what is the topic tonight, and who wants to win money?
Never know. But we're going to leave you here now, okay, with this thought. Don't ever forget where you come from. Always remember your origins.
And always rather tap it.
No!
No.
And always know where you're going.
Exactly. Always have a set path before you. For you never know.
And know that there's always going to be bumps in that path as well.
That's what I was just about to hit on. There are always going to be obstacles in your way. It depends on how are you going to master and how are you going to move past that obstacle is how it's going to affect you. Don't ever let an obstacle stop you completely. No matter what you do. I blew my fucking hand out and I got a scar across the back end of my hand. That
angry masturbating will do that to you.
Yeah, he's thinking about me too much.
It was.
Sorry.
I told you Jerry has stronger hands than you.
No, it was actually from a samurai sword going across the back end of my hand when I was 14 years of age. My older brother smacked me.
Once again, angry masturbation will do that to you.
He didn't have Jerry to help.
But
yeah,
remember what we said in this show, okay? Just remember all the facts that Will talked about. Rocky Rob, Jerry the Clown, and Savage Panda, Mr. Goodbars, and me, okay? We all are trying to help you guys out and to wake up, okay? That's what this show's about, is to wake up your lives. And we're going to leave you guys with something that I love. A song I really love.
It's Jerry's. You could just say Jerry the Regret is the last song we're playing.
It's going to be Jerry's Regret because I love Jerry.
Jerry
He's my boy toy.
You got, man.
Oof.
If you know your man, you better fucking say his business name.
Let me fucking say his business name.
Get that
Jesus.
shit right. Jerry the Clown Productions, motherfuckers.
I call him Jerry or Daddy Jerry. Ooh. But we're gonna leave you guys off, okay, with this song, okay, from Jerry Productions.
Jerry the Clown Productions.
Yeah, Jerry the Clown Productions. Okay, and I'm gonna need Jerry to stay here with Savage, but this is Regret from Jerry the Clown Productions.
So, I'm gonna get off and I'll see y'all later. I gotta cook dinner.
Peace, brother.
I could see when it on screen, so I could get up.
Don't care if I live or die, and my fucking life, then I can hear your lies. You can make me cry, broken and forgotten. You were the problem. Sniff a line of blows trying to cope, I'm sure you know the pain I'm feeling. Oh, I need healing. I'm reaching out for help, but no one's receiving. Don't care if I live or die, and my fucking life, then I can hear your lies. You can't make me cry. Help me, I'm bleeding, and my life now I'm bleeding. Too much pain in this world, I got no time for grieving. Lost my friend, I don't know who's next. Can't count on anyone yet. Pain is killing me slowly. I can't breathe, let me be free. Don't care if I live or die, and my fucking life, then I can hear your lies. You can't make me cry.